allegiance. Everyone say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Pledge
to the
allegiance
flag
to the flag
of the
of
United
the
States
United
of America
States of America,
and to the
The
republic
Republic
which
the
stands
republic
stands
one nation,
which
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
one nation,
indivisible,
liberty,
under God,
liberty,
and
and
justice
justice for all.
and justice.
Oh, you accomplished that all by ourselves. Carrie, could you
Pretty
call the
good.
roll, please?
Chairman Kurtz,
Here.
Dr. Dimick,
Present.
Mr. Brzezowski,
Here,
Mr. Norbeck,
Present.
and Mr. McPhee.
Present.
We have a quorum. We need to discuss the minutes of the previous meeting. Do I hear a motion?
I'll move the minutes as amended by Dr. Dimick.
I'll second that.
By Will McPhee, seconded by Tom Norbeck. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried unanimously by all commission members present. Communications. Suzanne?
First communication is a request for determination for 1392 Cheshire Street. That's on the agenda tonight. And second is an application for the same thing for 1392 Cheshire Street.
Inspection reports?
Written inspections, the show cause hearing notice was sent to 720 Yalesville Road. And a show cause hearing notice was also sent to 152 Talmadge Road. And staff inspections were for all three properties on the agenda tonight: 1392 Cheshire Street, 720 Yalesville Road, and 152 Talmadge Road.
Okay, we'll be taking them up. Enforcement actions. First is notification of violation of cease and desist order on 720 Yalesville Road. Is there any
Yes.
information, or is there someone representing the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, if I could just run through my staff communication.
Sure.
To remind the commission that in 2006, there was a subdivision and site plan approval given for this property. At that time, the non-encroachment area was established, which was to be 50 feet along the wetland boundary. That area has been cleared, and a new survey that was provided by Harry Cole and emailed out to members yesterday showed a clearing limit survey that was done that does indicate that the property was cleared directly up to wetlands in some areas, and in other areas just giving a couple feet, what appears to be a couple feet of buffer. So basically that established 50-foot non-encroachment line has been eliminated. And speaking with Mr. Avarenga, he indicated that he went out to the property and that he, sorry, I'm letting someone else in the meeting now, that he had gone out to the property and cleared in that area, and he estimates that he cut down between 12 and 15 trees. So before the commission tonight is the discussion of the cleared non-encroachment area that was done without a permit. This came to our attention because the property owner had submitted a building permit plan where they were looking for a building permit, and we went out to the site to inspect that the erosion controls were in place. I had been in communication with the property owner prior to going out and advised them of where the silt fence should be and how it should be installed. And on our first inspection to the property, we found that the silt fence was not installed correctly, that it was not backfilled. It was just the stakes in the ground and nothing anchoring into the soil. And also the area behind the silt fence had been cleared.
Hey, Susan, how are you? Susan, are you there?
Oh, hello, how are you?
You're good. We're by yourself. Okay, I wasn't here. What were you saying, please?
I was just summarizing to the commission about the 2006 approval. So for the commission on the phone right now, just by recognizing his voice, this is Mr. Herbert Avarenga, who is the property owner of 720 Yalesville Road. And Mr. Avarenga, I was just advising the commission about what brought us here tonight, that there was the approval that was issued in 2006 that established the non-encroachment area, and that currently that non-encroachment area has been cleared. And that we received the plan from Harry Cole Associates yesterday that showed the clearing survey, which indicated what we had already discussed, that the area had been cleared.
Was that approval still valid? For 2006?
So they do expire, and that has expired since then.
Well,
So
then
there's
it's
a couple of
probably not
issues.
really to be considered in this conversation, is it?
Well, the restoration, that the non-encroachment line at least was established. So the commission could view it to say, well, it was established. You still would need to get the permit to do anything as far as the development because the permit lapsed, but that
Right.
at a minimum, that 50-foot upland review area would still stand unless the commission took action to reduce it, which the commission had not been asked to do because we did not receive an application to present to the commission.
So you were, if I can be, I'm just looking for clarity here. So you were asked to come out to the site and review erosion controls and non-encroachment areas.
Yes,
And those were established prior to the clearing?
yes, they were established in 2006.
Oh, all right, but they haven't been established as of late.
Correct. They were established in 2006, and the commission had not received any applications to do anything else with that property to change the non-encroachment line or anything like that.
And was it recently that you were giving your tutorial about proper silt fence installation, or was that back in '06 as well?
No, this was recently. This was just in the past month or so.
And was there any discussion about non-encroachment areas at that point?
Yes, that the 50-foot area had been established.
And yet it was ignored?
There seems to be some indication that the property was cleared prior to contacting our office, so that it was cleared before we had knowledge that there was an intent to even develop this property.
So that means the trees were cut when you say clear?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And that 12 or 15 trees, just curious about does it really seem to be 12 or 15 trees? Because a lot of times when you cut a tree, you can count the stumps to see how many trees were affected.
The reason we cut the trees was because the trees was filled down. They crack them up, and the insurance they required to cut them up the trees, and the other one has been like molded inside. That's why we cut them up. And otherwise, we don't want to be cut them up.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, I have my father next to me because he doesn't speak language, so I have to translate to him. So.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Is this are you speaking for 152 Talmadge?
Yes.
Okay, no, we're not on that yet. We are still on 720 Yalesville Road, so we will get to you next.
Okay.
But right now,
Okay.
it's Mr.
Okay.
Everenga that we are in conversation with.
Okay, I apologize.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, sure.
So, Mr. Everenga, are you still on the phone?
Well, I guess we just have to make a decision what to do about the starting the project when the permit is expired. And perhaps we ought to ask him to submit a plan, an engineer's plan, to restore the non-encroachment and possible wetland areas the way they were before, and then he can come in for his permit to build a house, which means setting up the silt fence and start all over again. Once the project is cleaned up, then we can go through all this permit, because as Tom mentioned, the permits he's looking for and the determination he's looking for are a little bit beyond where we're ready to go and beyond where he's ready to go, because he doesn't even have a permit. You want to make a decision? You want to just drop the whole thing?
What's the decision to be made is he needs to come in for a permit, correct? And I guess in order to, I think to your point, Mr. Kurtz, is that he needs to restore the area or at least have a plan for restoring the area. I would think prior to us entertaining anything. Is that not true?
Don't we
I
have
would say yes.
but don't we have a notice of violation in front of us that we have to make a determination about?
Yes, so the commission tonight could make a determination on the show cause hearing to whether close it, keep it open, make a finding that yes, there is a violation, and then the commission could order that a corrective order be issued, which gives them then a specific time frame to submit restoration plans to the commission for review.
Based on what has been presented so far from staff and from the engineer, it seems quite obvious there has been a violation. Now, do we do this one step or two steps? Should we step one, make a determination there has been a violation, and step two, decide what to do about it?
Yes, Dr. Dimick, I suggest that would be the best thing for the record, to do it in 2 steps.
I move that based on the information provided to us so far tonight, that we determine a violation has occurred and some kind of remedial action is necessary.
Moves there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Norback. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously by those commission members present.
Okay, the next
And
thing.
the next thing, oh, go right ahead.
The next thing we need to do then is, and staff will have to help us out on this, is make a motion that we find the applicant must come before us with plans for restoration before we can issue a permit to allow the construction to continue. Is that good, Suzanne, or is that?
Yes, what I would add to that is that they would be required to issue a restoration plan, given a certain time period, like 30 days, 45 days. And then at that time, then they may be allowed to apply for further changes, because this wouldn't necessarily, the restoration plan would be separate than the building plan.
Right. It doesn't advance their cause. It just gets them to where they can start their cause.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Essentially, they need to provide a restoration plan. Staff has suggested 30 days within a certain time period, and before they will be allowed to have further action on the site.
And we'd need to act on that restoration plan, that it's.
Yeah, we have to have it in front of us. They have to submit it. We have to have it in front of us and act. And assuming it's good enough for us to approve, then they can apply for a permit to continue their activities.
With all considerations, it should be an engineer's plan, I would assume.
I would think, or a wetlands.
By qualified professionals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yes, and Mr. Chairman, I did speak with the engineer that submitted the clearing survey, as well as I spoke to a restoration in person that they likely may be hiring, who is the same person that worked on the Plank Road violation. So I had discussion with both of those individuals in preparation that they may be working further on this. for their client.
Sounds good to me. Do we need a motion?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Dimick made the motion in many words. Is there a,
I'll second it.
okay, and made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
Do we have that yet in proper form? It essentially moved and seconded that the violator must present to us within 30 days a restoration plan prepared by qualified professionals for our approval before
Or
we can,
consideration, yeah.
for our consideration, yes.
Do we need it in 30 days or is that for their benefit to have it in 30 days?
My suggestion was to put a time frame in there so that the commission has control and sets an expectation of when information will be received. 30 days, I think, is just a starting point. If the commission wanted to give another time frame, I just think that it is helpful to provide a time frame.
I
It
agree. I
sounds
just
like
wanted
their
to-
engineer is ready to go ahead and do something like this, so 30 days ought to be adequate under the circumstance.
All right, wouldn't give more. What if he came in next meeting?
Yeah.
That'll be all right?
Oh, certainly he could do it sooner, yes.
Okay. All right, I get it.
All right,
And the cease and desist order, that's all he can work on the property is the engineer's plans, correct?
Yes,
No more, no digging, no clearing, no shoveling.
So
yes.
we leave the cease and desist in at this point to just try to, you know, get this in front of us so we can consider where we go next, but we need something from him to do that.
Right, I just wanted to make sure that the applicant understood that.
Mhm.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried unanimously by those commission members present. Second is a notice of violation with a cease and desist order for unauthorized activities in the upland review area on 152 Talmadge Road. Is
Yes, Mr.
that
Chairman,
person still on the line? Okay,
for 152 Talmadge Road, the commission may remember that there was discussion previously with this property owner back in April of 2019. At that time, there was tree cutting that had happened without approval from the commission, and it occurred directly around the pond and within 50 feet of the pond. And the commission had determined at that time that there was discussion that he needed to remove those trees because the insurance company had required it. And the commission at that time released the notice of violation and had no further action on it. Since then, a fence has been installed along the road on Talmadge Road, and the fence goes right through the upland review area, and it actually bisects the pond. There is a post for the fence that goes right next to the outlet for the pond. So that is something that was installed without the required permit. And in addition, there is work that's been conducted around the pond with stone. Perhaps it's armoring, it's placement of stone and other debris surrounding the margin of the pond. And that was something that was done without a permit. And I do not have any information as to why that work was done, what the intent of that work was done. So a notice of violation was issued on October 1st. There is one error in the cease and desist order where it mentions Marion Road, and that should read Talmadge. But it did require that the activity halt on the site and that they attend the meeting tonight. And I do believe that they are on the call, the property owners of 152 Talmadge Road.
Yes.
do you have something you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'm his son. My father lives here, so I'm his son. I'm gonna be interpreter between you and him because he doesn't speak the language. So I
Okay.
try to do help as much as I can. So,
And
because
could you just state for the record what your name is?
Flamur, Flamur,
Okay,
same last name,
okay, thank you.
Yeah. but he doesn't speak the language. So I just try to interpret it between you and him. I
Okay.
try to do as much as I can because I never have any issue before, like whatever. But
Okay,
we have to go like short by short, like conversation, like you know what I mean? Okay.
okay,
The reason he cut the tree because they fell down last year because the wind, the weather, and the insurance they required to cut them up, everything. And then some other ones had been molded in the bottom. There's the reason why he cut them up the trees, or what he was talking about. Because they hit the house ceiling over there. Okay,
We've
hang on.
heard all that before.
Ju morda të I kom kallëzu që I garoj shtëpisë. Edhe I kom prej ata të cilët kanë vdek. I kom pru me fotografi, I kom pru.
Okay, he came over there and he bring the picture like how it was molded to show you wherever it was in town hall. Because there was molded in the bottom, the ground next to the ground. And then the insurance was required to take them off, to cut them up. There's a reason why. Otherwise, he doesn't want to do what's all about.
okay, the information that was provided had to do with the fence that was installed that goes through the outlet of the pond, and that was done without a permit. And
Okay.
then also the
Yeah.
work that's being done around the pond, also without a
Okay.
permit. So there's questions about what is being done to the pond. We see that there's stone or other debris that's being placed around the pond. So what is the purpose of that, and how was that done, and why was that done?
Okay, let me just explain to him. So,
Okay, sure.
arsyeja është pse I ke qitë atë tarobat,
Po,
për mi ujë, edhe shkaj ka të më bo mëna të rrath bazenit.
të robat I kom qitë për kur gjë tjetër vetëm që po duket keq pi rrugës. Është ujë shumë I papastër.
Okay. The reason he put the things in the street was because it was looking dirty from the
Edhe
from the war. That's why he did it.
është bari shumë I madh dhe nuk pastrohet as nuk hiqet.
Are you there, Susan?
Yes.
So the reason he put the things on the side of the street was because it was looking dirty from the inside near the pond. And that's why he doesn't want it to be looking dirty. That's why he did it. Like,
So that's why he put the stone around the pond, because he wanted to make it look nicer.
no, I'm not talking for the
No.
I'm talking for the thing by the street.
Oh, the fence. Okay,
The fence. Yeah, I'm sorry, fence.
Fence.
okay.
Për bazen thej, asnjëherë nuk kom menu me mbush, po vetëm ta pastroj me grabuj. Ato është grabuj, ato të furkit cilat kom fillu me pastruan.
Okay.
Edhe uji është shumë I papastër. I vjen era.
Okay.
Kaq.
They tried to clean him up around the pond because it was smelling bad. That's why he just wanted to clean him up, but he doesn't want to do like anything else, like closing or something else, whatever. He just wanted to be like clean him up, but it's very smelling bad. It has very, very high grass on it. They raise the grass.
Okay.
That's nice, but he had to get a permit, and he was told he had to get a permit to do any further work in that area. Fact remains, he did not get a permit. There's no excuse for that. He was warned. The commission was very kind, very liberal, and very lenient the first time this came around.
We apologize for
Now we're back.
inconvenience.
Well, that's good, but now you have to fix it.
Okay. Duhet me shumë marr permit për me bon ato.
Unë nuk jam kundër asajna, po nuk më ka thonë asnjëherë, askush s'm ka thonë, po nuk jam kundra. Edhe nesra vije paguaj atë permit. Nesra.
He don't mind to pay the permit, to get the permit, but he never knew like they need to get the permit. He apologized for inconvenience, but he will come and do the permit, so to get the permit
Nesra, tomorrow.
tomorrow.
It's not quite that easy. I think we have to clean up the violation. The fence has posts in the wetland. The edge of the pond has stone and other debris on it. These are
The
things that are
stone-
gonna wash in the wetland.
The stone they put because the kids were driving with the bike, they just wanted to be more security.
We don't care about because you were told you needed a permit to do anything.
Well, we didn't know
Get
that.
it. We're beyond that now. We are looking at the regulations and looking at your violation, a willful violation of the regulations.
Well, you know,
Quite
doesn't know
possible, even if you bring in a permit request, we may deny the permit, in which case you'll have to bring everything back to the condition it was beforehand.
okay. The memo permitted to Mexico.
And if necessary, we could turn this over to legal and they end up starting to fine so many dollars per day for not doing so. So that's urgent that you immediately come in with not only a permit request, but also keep in mind that you may be required to restore everything to its original condition.
Okay, hang on a second.
Record of its original condition?
Mi ek taraf bata? Ekranı mı çita beda?
Memor permit.
Oh.
Mixi mas kate memor permit.
Po,
Etani make sure.
al coaches bana da çasto ban ya bolna. Ska problem. I kom, shakem da.
Okay.
No kom dito ne, no kom dito sa
He never knew he needed to get a permit. So that's why he thought like, you know, can we clean him up? So
No,
we apologize by not any purpose or anything. So
no,
it's different story when you grew up and born here.
too little, too late.
You know. So
Via mal permite, ska problem.
Excuse me, even if we make a allowance for the language barrier here, I didn't, the last time you were before us, I really did think that it was understood about the activities needed a permit. And I think we gave you a pretty wide sway here with the wood that had been cut up, and it almost looked like a wood operation. It really looked like they were, it looked like a commercial venture. There was so much wood there. But then I think we explained that we needed I'm going off my memory here, but I thought we talked about a silt fence around the pond as well, because of the activity that they were kind of muddying it up. I think they had a backhoe in there, and I'm not sure, but it seems like this has been going on for quite some time, and I guess there's a chance they didn't understand that they needed a permit. But I think that's incumbent upon them to, if it is a language barrier, to bring someone who could bridge that barrier and get things explained.
I tried to explain much as I can, but I didn't really have any issue before, like how they goes the things. So this why I got a little more misunderstood in something like.
All right, but I think you got yourself a hot potato here now.
Yeah. But is there any way we can come and meet in the office, or?
I think, like we suggested to the last applicant, I don't know if you were in the meeting at that point, but, or not, they weren't even an applicant either. They were a violator. I'm loath to call them an applicant. They were in violation, and we asked them, or we demanded of them to come before us with a restoration plan before we could move ahead. Is that appropriate in this case, Mr. Chairman?
I would think so, and perhaps it could be coupled with a permit. Restoration, see, the fence is, it's in the wrong, it's in violation by itself. That has to go. That debris that's in the back, we'd have to know a little bit about it, like where did it come from? Why was it put there? It's certain, it doesn't look to me like something that's indigenous to that area.
Okay, so
Well,
the fence.
We could have the restoration permit and perhaps the permit to do something present at the same time. Then we'd have to have it done in order, or we can just say, just go out the restoration permit and we'll take it from there, tell you what you have to do.
Did they have to remove the fence from there?
We haven't decided.
I think even if they didn't remove the fence, I think we need a plan how they were going to remove the fence and what was going to be restored in the area where the fence was. I'm just at a loss for what we started with here and what they would be restoring it to, because we don't really.
But you just wanted to be clean them up because you got smelling. The grease has been raised higher.
We
and
know.
they got smelling. That's why
We
you
heard
just
that.
clean them up.
Or in
Yeah.
We heard that.
That's why.
nothing else besides that.
And Mr. Chairman, there is one question that I have, which is a technical question. Looking at the fence in the pictures that I provided the commission, you can see what appears to be a fence post that goes right at the outlet of the pond. So my question is, how was that installed, and has it created any problem to, is there a closed bottom culvert there? Did it possibly go through something that may have damaged the culvert? You know, the integrity of the culvert and the flow of the water is a question that I have in looking at that post and its placement
Does that,
right at the outfall.
does that culvert cross Talmadge Road?
It goes under the road and it then discharges onto the property across the street, goes into a larger pond, and then it sort of spreads out into that field area along Academy.
I think we need to talk, I think they need to bring a professional in, because
Let me give you a little background as to part of why there's a problem here. We have had drought conditions this year. The stream that goes into that pond is at least partially spring fed. The groundwater table has dropped, and as a result, some of the springs that feed all of that are not working. And so this is a condition in terms of the smell he's talking about, is because the water table has dropped, which is going to happen every once in a while. This happens to be an extreme drought condition. I think in that area, the water table may be about 4 feet lower than it normally is.
we need to hear from a professional.
Yeah.
Not just you, Charles.
Not just.
How do we ask them to get the engineer, or
He
do
is a
we?
professional.
We need to know more about this than we know.
Yeah, well, yeah, actually, because I haven't gone out and made a study of this specific area, but that's the general trend.
Yep.
In that part of town, is the water table dropping and causing all kinds of problems.
So first we need to find a violation, right? So we would do that first, step one.
Yes, are you moving to say that they're in violation?
Yes, moving to say they're, with this order to show cause that they're in violation.
And moved by Carrie Dunn, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tom Norback, any discussion?
Yeah, Earl, I apologize for, I forgot to state, and I've kept quiet throughout this because I want to recuse myself from this, as they are my neighbors. So I just want to abstain from the vote.
Okay, I appreciate that. No other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 4-0, the motion is carried. Now the discussion about what to do. We need some professional help to figure out what has happened and what's best to remediate it. The question in my mind is, do we ask them to hire a professional to do the work and the recommendations? Or do we hire a professional to go out and do it and bill the people at 152 Talmadge Road for it? Can we
So,
get the right
Mr.
result from
Chairman,
their engineer?
I know that we have the ability in an application, our fee structure allows for, in an application, for the town to hire a third-party reviewer and then have the applicant pay for that. Seeing as how there's no fee structure for the violation, I don't believe that that opportunity exists. So my suggestion would be that if the commission was interested in getting an evaluation of what the conditions are out on the property and what they've done, and what the potential issues may be with that, then I would recommend that they be ordered to hire a professional and then to give a certain time frame as to when the commission expects a report back.
And they could contact your
Great.
office for suggestions of 2 or 3 different people that might be able to do that, right?
Well, we don't give recommendations.
Well,
we-
I'm thinking we'll somehow put them in contact with someone who can give a recommendation then, because they may not be familiar with how to find someone that will do that.
Right, they may not
Yes,
even
so
know
I
what-
can help them with resources to find someone to do that,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay, can I stop at the office and get the information, like tomorrow or the town hall?
I will send you an email
Okay,
and I will give you that information on the email. Did you receive the email that I sent you with the information previously?
I didn't really check them. I see the last one I got from you,
Yes, so you did get the one that has the invite. Okay, yep. So I will send you that email.
because the most of the time I want to do like in a face to face because I got misunderstood in something I need to be explanation more like explain like.
Okay. Well, I'll send you the email. You can take a look at it and then you can respond back to me and we can figure things out.
So do I have to move the fence or we have to wait to?
I think we have to wait for recommendations on that.
And
We
how
have to
long
have a professional look at it, make recommendations, and then you come back to us. So you're not to do anything until that's done.
Okay, and who's gonna find the professional?
That's
Do I
what
have-
we're gonna discuss with the staff, either via email or,
With the. Okay, so I'm gonna if there's any way I can see Susan at the town hall, then maybe she can give me some more information where I can look.
Yes, I'm not going to be back in the office until next week. So that's why I can do the email that has names or resources where you can get names, and I'll give you an explanation of whatever the commission decides tonight. It sounds as though the commission is leaning towards ordering you to hire a professional to evaluate the conditions on the property and to provide their professional opinion to the commission, and then the commission can decide how to act from there. So I will give you the resources so that you can find individuals that you can hire. So this would be somebody that you would hire. So you would have to
I have to deal with that.
contact them and and explain things to them.
And how much long I got like term to do that?
The commission can decide on that time frame.
No, I'm asking like the time frame, how long I got.
Do we
Yep,
do the
the
30 days?
The commission
That's
is going to
what we want
decide.
know.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to my dad and I will give you a call. I will call Susan like maybe Thursday. And then we'll
I
see
will-
where we are.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
be in the office next
sorry,
week. So,
next month?
yep, I'll send you the email.
Next Monday?
Okay, but the town hall is closed on Monday, so on Tuesday.
Okay, so then I'm gonna try to get you on Tuesday to meet in town hall, or I will call you next Tuesday and then we talk.
Yep, just call first because town hall
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
not
I know, yeah.
widely open
Yeah, I
to
know,
the public.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
So I will wait till Tuesday. Send me the link. I will see which one he has, and then I'll wait
Okay.
till Tuesday, next Tuesday, and I will call and talk to you, and then we'll see where we are.
Okay.
Next time.
okay, that works.
Okay. Okay.
thank you.
We need a motion on that, or is it enough that
Yes,
he knows? We do.
yes.
Okay, could you summarize, maybe Carrie, what you said about hiring a professional and giving them a certain amount of time? If we could make
Are
it
we
30
gonna go
days,
with
fine.
30 days, that the applicant will hire a professional to come up with a remediation plan within 30 days? And in the meantime, we'll cease from any other work on the property. Is there anything else that we need to say in
Yeah,
that?
the professional needs to make an evaluation of the situation and then come
Right.
up with a mediation plan.
Right, I'm sorry. Yes, exactly.
Make
Can I
that part
have
of the motion
more
then.
time? Can I have more time, more than 30 days, or this is the
Oh.
limit?
How much
give them
time is it
over.
that you're requesting?
Would you prefer like 60 days or 45?
Só para ver aí.
Do muy.
Olha, você vira
Okay.
eu tô aí com
60 a month. I mean 60 days. I'm sorry. 2 months. 60 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it all put together. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Não,
Made by Carrie Dunn and seconded by Mr. Norbeck.
And Mr. Chairman, is
I
that
think-
with the 60 days?
60 days, yes.
Okay,
And I think it has to be clear to the people at 152 Talmadge that there is no work to be done at all. There's a cease and desist.
I
enforced.
will.
They have to understand that. The only work that's going to be done is what the professionals need to do to assess and make recommendations regarding the property.
I promise. Yeah.
How can we be clearer on that? I don't want to hear, I didn't understand, I didn't know.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We voted on the motion. We did not vote on the motion.
We haven't voted yet.
No.
Voted.
All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 4-0, the motion is carried. On to the next.
Do I am free now to go, or I have to stay on it?
You're free so far.
Okay. Thank you. Have a
yes,
good night.
you are free to go, yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so Susan, so I will talk to you next Tuesday.
Yes,
Then we'll follow up the next step. So I
Okay.
promise nothing nothing gonna work on it. Nothing gonna be same that is. So
All right, very good.
I
okay,
apologize.
very good.
Cooperation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a category, but there's no unfinished business. Is that correct, or am I missing
Correct.
something?
Correct,
Okay.
no unfinished business.
Okay, new business. A request for determination regarding 1392 Cheshire Street, a privacy fence. Suzanne, you want to give us the background, please?
Sure. The commission issued a permit in 2012 for the demolition of an existing house and the construction of a new house, which is the house that is on the property as of right now. The commission had some ongoing violation issues with the previous owner from 2014 through 2019. In 2018, there was a stipulated court judgment that required the installation of a split rail fence and to cease the mowing in the non-encroachment area, which is behind the house. And there was also some penalties that were to be paid to the town, which have been paid. So the cease and desist order and the court stipulated judgment still stands, which requires that that non-encroachment area be allowed to maintain in its native vegetation and not to be disturbed, and that the split rail fence be in that area. And new owners took possession of the property in 2019, and at first they had started mowing behind that split rail fence within the non-encroachment area. I did meet with the property owners and discussed that there was that standing order and that that area needed to revert back, which it had this year. And more recently, I was contacted by the owner inquiring about putting a fence up around the property. They provided a sketch that was provided to the commission. It is a copy of the 2012 approved plan, and in red shows the area where they are proposing to put the fence. So to the rear of the property, the fence is proposed to replace the split rail fence, which was part of the court order, and instead install a solid privacy fence so that they cannot, nobody can gain access to the back of the property, as well as then putting a fence on either side of the property where there are wetlands on either side. And I had just happened to be in that area after getting the request asking about putting up a fence, and I saw that trees had been recently cut. It appeared as though majority of the trees, looking at the stumps, were right outside that 50-foot upland area, but there were a few that were within the direct wetland finger area, which is on the south of the property. And when I had gone out to the property then to take a look at the trees that were cut, that stump was rotted, so it did appear to be a dead or dying tree. Also, just to note, in the condition of the property, there was also two sections of the split rail fence that were removed, and there were wood chips that were recently chipped from the trees that were cut approximately the day before, were chipped into that area. And I did meet with Serafina Stasky, and she had indicated that she would try and remove some of the chips that were in there. And after that visit, then we received the request for determination. It's a handwritten note, and I can read it into the record. It's dated September 29th, 2020. Addressed to Cheshire Planning and Zoning Office, Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission regarding request for determination for privacy fence installation. To Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission, we are submitting a request for determination to install a privacy fence to enclose our backyard. Part of the fence will run through the upland review in the north side of the property. The fence will also run along the current wetland buffer fence, but not behind, nor would it impede in the non-encroachment area of the property. We are looking to install a vinyl fence on the west side of the property, front of the house, and enclose it with pressure-treated stockade wood fence. All, and this is a little bit difficult to read, at 6 feet in height, 8 feet in width. We would like to remove the current wetland buffer fence and place the posts in the same spot to not disturb the soil further. The new posts will be cemented, or due to restrictions, the post will be dug deeper to withstand light winds or other acts of nature. We appreciate your consideration in this determination. Thank you, Michael and Serafina Stasky.
Without having a, I don't, unfortunately, like I said, I didn't have the, my agenda or packet this month, but it sounds like they're sensitive to what they're trying, what our expectations are. Is that a fair assessment, gang?
I would agree. The fact that they're asking for a request for determination is a step in the right direction with this property. I actually see that a privacy fence is going to do a better job of keeping everybody out of the wetlands than what's there now. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and they've taken with their narrative, their intent, and not just their intent, their plan and promise is to put it in the footprint of the old split rail. And I think if they have to dig a little deeper to give it more support, that's fine. To Will's point, I think it's a step in, it's a better direction to go in. A privacy fence versus split rail that can be easily disassembled. So.
Agreed.
Considering the nature of the project and some of the things they've already done, I was thinking a formal permit might be more binding. Myself, I'm not so sure that allowing the request to be granted is the safest way to do it. There had been some disturbance in the beyond the wetlands buffer.
With the
wood, correct, Suzanne?
Yes, it was in the non-encroachment area. Yes.
Okay. And it was in the deed that it was on the town records when they bought the property. They were aware of the restriction.
No, we didn't know. Sorry, this is Sarah Stasky. We didn't know it was wetlands or anything until we got that deed. So the previous owners lied to us, and our lawyer looked into it, and they never told us. So we went in blind, pretty much.
It's on the record. If they don't tell you, that's one thing. But whoever did the title search had to see it.
Right. They never told us. They literally never told us.
Your attorney.
Yes. Right.
No. Okay. Your problem. Okay. Whatever.
From our
anyway, that's why I'm thinking a permit would be more formal and maybe make sure they do the right thing rather than just granting, sure, go ahead and do it.
We've actually had problems with the previous 3 owners of that property going back to the late 70s.
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean, a permit is not onerous anyway. I think it's to ask them to pull a permit, I think that's probably, as Earl, the chairman said, it's probably a good idea, and it's not, you know,
Just to have it more set in stone
Mhm.
and with a record and something like that.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Right, right.
so everybody knows what you're permitted to do and what you're not permitted to do, and it's all down there in black and white.
yeah.
Right.
Community
So I
of-
do have one question. So we can't use cement to put the post and we just have to dig them deeper, or is that
I think cement would be okay in this case because it's not gonna, it's gonna be at the edge of an unencroachment line,
right?
and it's gonna be a case of makes it a more permanent structure. I don't see that
Okay.
that's a problem.
Just put that, you should put that and describe what you're doing when you apply for the permit. So if we demand a permit, that should be within your application, saying what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it.
Well, we have
Okay.
a permit been submitted, but we could always still work on accepting the permit tonight and getting it started and look for an amendment before because we'd have a 2-week delay before we could do anything anyway. And that would give them a chance
Right.
to append the permit for that information.
I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I know I
That's
submitted
good.
it also with the request for determination. So I haven't paid any of the fees yet, but that's pretty much what I have to do is just append the permit and then send in the fee for it.
Yeah.
Well, Serafina, I think, the commission's gonna have a little bit more discussion when they come up with their decision regarding the determination. But from the staff perspective, just from record keeping, it really would be advisable that the sketch that you drew that has the red lines on it, that it really be more detailed and that you identify that you're going to have cement posts, and instead of just the written letter to say that you're going to have vinyl on this side and stockade on the other, that all of that be labeled on the site plan so that the commission can clearly look at this plan and know exactly what it is that you're requesting. So my recommendation to you would be to take a look at that map that I sent you and for you to mark it up with a bit more accuracy and specificity.
Like
Yeah.
feet wise and like 45 feet out, and then something like that, or exact posts, or because I don't know exactly where they're going to put the posts. It's every 8 feet, so you need something like that too.
Well, just to identify that the posts are going to be cement, give
Okay.
the length of the fence for each of your
Okay.
runs from your each
Yeah.
dimension of the house, that you give the length of fence that you're looking to do, and that you provide information. It could even be in a narrative that you walk step by step of how it is that you plan to do that. Understanding that the trees were already cut, assuming then that you won't need to do any more clearing. But if that's part of this, then it should be part of the application as well. So as much detail as you can provide, that's going to provide clarity for commission members so that they know what they're being asked to evaluate and act on.
We got a bit of housework we have to do here, housekeeping first. I move that the commission has decided, after looking at this, has determined a permit will be needed for this proposal.
You second that motion? Yeah, I was second. Who, was that Carrie that seconded it?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. We've had a lot of discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried unanimously by those commission members present. Now, we can continue the discussion. What all this is about is to give the applicant the ammunition that she needs to make a logical presentation for exactly what she wants to do. Don't leave anything out and don't leave anything unexplained. It's pretty much what it is. And the discussion the commission is going through right now is to help you do that, prepare that permit. What else
Okay.
you need to know?
So the application that I already put in, I just need the site plan labeled properly, correct?
Yes, you would need that, and you would also then need the application fee.
Okay. And
What
when
way
do you
to
guys
do it-
need this by?
If you have a clean copy of that site plan, is to blow it up a little bit. I don't know whether you've got a printer at home that can make a large version of it, or whether you go down someplace and get a large version so we can have something that's a little bit bigger, and then use a ruler to lay out where the fence goes, so it looks a little neater, as well as all the
Okay.
labeling and so forth. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that works.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have the application already. It's
Okay.
gonna be paid for and whatever. When you said 2 weeks, Charles, are you saying that we can make a decision at the next meeting?
I'm saying
Or-
we can't make a decision before the next meeting because of the state
Right.
law. It says we got to give them 14 days.
Right, but you can make a decision the next meeting, which
I
means all
think
this
so, if we have
information that
it.
we're asking,
Yeah.
Suzanne, you gotta make sure all the information is there?
Yes,
Because we're not gonna have an opportunity until the next meeting.
correct. No, I will work with the applicant to get all the required information to the commission to be able to make a determination or to act on it at the next meeting if the commission so desired.
All right,
Perfect,
thank you.
Great, thank you.
okay. Does the applicant need any other information? Any other assistance?
Me?
All
Yes.
set?
Are you talking to me?
Okay. Yes.
Yes,
No,
Any
I'm
other-
good.
you're good.
Okay,
I'm good. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks.
Is there any other business to come before the commission?
No,
What do you say? Anybody have anything to say? Guess we're all done. By consensus, we can adjourn this meeting at 8:28.
All right.
All right.
Hey, folks,
Okay.
have
See you all next time.